Some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist. I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I love today. One street over there's a life I could have known. Things aren't always
Looking for answers in the real estate community? Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty can give you the answers you're looking for. Maybe you're wondering if it's time to buy. Is it time to sell? You're older. Is it time to downsize? Rebecca can specifically answer that question because she's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. So she's specifically trained to answer those questions. When it comes to selling, would you like to have a marketer on your team? Barry is a marketer. For 17 years, he was a vice president of a media marketing company in Nashville. Now he's a broker in Springfield for Exit Prime. Rebecca's office is an agency office up in White House. They combined the two to bring you Exit Prime Realty. Same great Exit team, just a new branch in the tree. No matter what your needs are, they specialize in Robertson County properties because they're from Robertson County. They've been here for nearly 30 years up in Cross Plains, but they're originally from Kentucky, so they also know the nuances of buying and selling in Kentucky and all the surrounding areas. Reach out to him today. Barry and Rebecca Richards, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Let them know U-Turn sent you. They're still in playoff action as far as football. Let me know. I know Springfield because my husband works over there, as most of y'all know, as one of the criminal justice teachers. So he keeps me up to date on all that. And he was able to stream it because of Social Dweebs. Y'all do such a good job. I tell my kids all the time, because of what we have with our phones and our all of our screens, all of us are broadcasters now. You are broadcasting your life. That is one of the reasons why I'm so excited to be able to teach audio video broadcasting at Greenbrier, is to make them understand you are broadcasting your life, but it's also available to anybody. If you want to be a broadcaster, go for it. You know what they're doing with sports coverage and things like that now? It's just the coolest thing, and I just think it's neat. I love the availability of it and what they're doing here. I talk a lot about what is happening here with Ebenezer Broadcasting, what they've built here and what they're continuing to build, a worldwide Christian broadcast network. WDBL is the Spanish side, WSGI is the English side, and this is for Jesus, y'all. Pure, plain, and simple. The switch to good old gospel the first of the year. I was one of those. I'm like, I like it. I like Christian contemporary. But you know what? There's tons of Christian contemporary radio stations up in Nashville that serve that need. And so Ebenezer decided to go ahead and fill a niche with this good old Southern gospel. Come on in, Kaleb. And I have to tell you, I think it was a brilliant broadcast move. Our audience is increasing all the time. I hear more and more about it when I'm, out in public. People are, I saw the show, or I listened to the show. And a lot more people are turning back on just the regular terrestrial radio. So we appreciate you guys so much, and I just appreciate everybody believing in what they're building here with Ebenezer. They've done just a beautiful job, Ebenezer Broadcasting. And I say all that to say, now that Veterans Motorplex has dropped off the sponsor list, we need some sponsors. I'll be reaching out to a few of you guys. I've got a couple of lines in the water, like I said, and so really need, 2 or 3 new sponsors would be wonderful. And so we'll be talking to you. And if you're interested in sponsoring what we're doing here at One Street Over, here's my number. Text me, don't call me, especially right now because we're on the air. But because I keep my phone pretty much in do not disturb all the time because I'm a teacher and a broadcaster and all those things. It is 615-594-7736, 615-594-7736. Reach out to me and we'll get you hooked up and let you start sponsoring this wonderful little thing we call One Street Over. Kaleb Stratton's in the house. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I tell you, you're never, late coming in here 5, 10 after because it takes me that long to say hi. So anyway, do you know anything about, and I know Springfield advanced in the playoffs. Way to go. Exciting game. My husband was watching it through Social Dweebs, and that was fun. But do you know anything else about the rest of the schedule? Do you know if any of the other teams, because I think Joe Burns was still in it and maybe East Robertson?
No, East Robertson's out. They got beat pretty bad.
Okay, well, they're out. What about, do we know anything about Joe Burns? I think they're still in.
I'm not sure about Joe Burns.
I think they played
Heritage is going.
So White House Heritage is still in?
They're moving on.
Okay,
Springfield plays Beach.
Yeah, Springfield plays
Burns,
Beach. And but I would, if anybody's got any updates, I would love to know. We don't talk a ton of sports here because I know nothing about it. That's when they hired me to do audio video at Greenbrier. I told them, I said, you do understand sports ain't my thing. And if we had a kid that came in that really wanted to do sports, I would facilitate it and let them
I'll say because they don't stream their games online, do they?
Yeah,
do they?
They,
okay.
They do to some degree. I mean, yes, they do. They do football. And I want to say they got the Voice of the Bobcats guys that they do. And I don't know if they do any basketball or anything. I love basketball. Yeah. And I mean, I just don't have enough hours in the day. I do not.
I was going to say, it's not like you need something else to do, huh?
No, I do not. And I just can't. But I would love to support somebody that wanted to do that. And, because we've got all kinds of equipment, man. We could do a stellar broadcast. I mean, with the equipment, because we've got this TriCaster thing. If we can ever figure out how to use it, God help me. I've got so much technology that I need to learn to use. This is insane. I was talking about you this weekend about Bubba about broke.
Yeah.
Well, we went to the races at Veterans Motorplex at the Rim. We had a ball. Oh my gosh! Did you hear anything about the races?
I did. I saw one of my buddies won the late model race, but that's about it.
The late model race.
Yeah, Tim Gay in the number 1. He won the won the late model.
Yeah, he was excited. He went over and then pushed up against the wall and burned his tires. And I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, just doing a celebratory burnout. Last race of the season.
Well, what was so funny is the guy sitting down in front of me drove for like 10 years. I didn't get his name. I should have. And I said, what was that all about? Because I kept peppering him with questions. I was like, okay, what are they? Because I didn't know, but it was exciting. Seeing those cars fly around that little short track, it's like, oh my goodness, it was crazy. And whenever he did that, I'm like, what was that? He goes, that's celebrating. I said, well, he's ruining his tires. He goes, they'll get a new set next year. I was like, oh yeah, it's the last race of the season, so why not? But these guys don't make money on this. They don't win prize money. They just do it because they love racing, and then they might get called up to the big guys one day, or
they'll win some prize money, but it's not enough to cover.
No,
not even close to cover their tires.
Well, they said that that car, like the one you were talking about, what do y'all call
that one's a limited late model.
Limited late model. I think they said something about they were like, $250,000.
Oh no, not that bad. I mean, well, it depends on what you got in it.
Yeah,
but
30. That's insane.
40,000 for just the car. Plus, you got the motor and
you got the motor, and you got
everything else. Yeah.
Well, that's when he said something like that. I thought, surely not.
I don't know what tires are. I know when we ran a limited late model last couple years ago, whenever it was
Crazy.
$600-700 for a set of tires. So and that's each race.
Man,
If you want to be competitive.
each race.
If you want to be competitive.
What? Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. Yeah. It was fun though. We had an absolute blast and loved Jerry to pieces. And I didn't get to see him. I was out there. We were out there for like 4 hours. We took our grandson, 8 years old. Yeah. We figured, he'll be done an hour or two. We just said, let him see it. Could not get him out of there. I had to literally say, I'm sorry, son. We've got to go with it because we stayed. Yeah. They had 100-lap race with, what class was it? It was sportsman. Is that
sportsman class? Yeah.
Sportsman class, 100 laps. Then they were going to come back with a Crown Vic 75 lap, and he went, I want to see it.
Oh, the Crown Vics are good.
But we watched a bunch of, we watched like 3 preliminary Crown Vic races. Wow. They had 100 cars out there this weekend. Yeah. It was crazy. But
the Crown Vics, they travel all over the country. That's a traveling series, yeah.
And so they had some prize money for that, and then so he wanted to stay so bad, but by the time it was going to be 11 o'clock before that race started, or pretty stinking close. Yeah. I was like, son, if I don't get you home in bed, your mom and daddy are going to never let you come stay with mom again.
Those sportsmen, they get on it too. Those cars are a lot cheaper, and they still put a lot of time and money into them. But
you should have seen the nonsense that went on. This is what I was wondering if you heard, because we saw all kinds of stuff. One car, and
it happens almost every weekend, so it's like it's not even news anymore, Right?
Yeah. Well, see, I was just like, what? They were probably about 30 laps from finishing, and one of the top contender cars, it was like second. I think this is it. But one of the other cars intentionally drove him into the wall. Mm-hmm. And we saw all this smoke, and I was like, what? It just freaked me out. And my grandson was like, what was that, Mama? And Mark, Papa he just loved it. Yeah. And so then we see them come around the track because it didn't really wreck him, but he pushed him up against the wall. And so they come back around the track, and the car that did the pushing, that was being a jerk. Right. Let's just say it. He was being a jerk, was sitting there about to go into the pit, and the car that he pushed into the wall came in and nailed him. Uh-huh. I was like, what? And they kicked them both out because and the thing is, the car that ended up hitting the other one hit the driver's door. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, off. Yeah. And they took them off the track. We were like, what in the world is going on? But it was exciting. We had a ball. We had so much fun. And if we'd had a nap that afternoon, we might have stayed for the Crown Vic race. And then they said they had the scrappers coming in for the last race. And that's just like any parts and pieces you can get out there and race, right?
Yeah, I think there's a limit. You can only spend like $100 or something on it. There's no way you could get me out there doing that.
It's kind of almost like a demo derby, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not safe at all.
It's not safe at all. That's hysterical. It's like, oh, it was fun. We had a ball. I had no idea.
You look inside some of those cars, and they've got the floorboard. You can see the track through the bottom. It's like, no, goodness. I'm not going to go there.
Oh, that's crazy. It was fun. We had a blast. The track looked beautiful. And how are you guys doing? Bubba about broke. You still racing and doing stuff?
No, good. Okay. Jackson, he's doing good. He's going to run a few, I think 5 ARCA NASCAR races next year that he's got lined up. So
nice.
That's
exciting.
Moving on. It just takes a lot of money. Lots and lots of money.
Bubba about broke. That's your podcast. How can they find that?
It's on every streaming platform there is. Facebook, Bubba's About Broke.
Well, I mentioned it to a couple of the folks out there. Oh, yeah, I listened to that. Yeah. I just thought that was great.
Most of that crowd does. They're pretty good listeners, good followers. But.
Yeah, and I think that's great. That's fun. And it's already 15 after, and we haven't talked about wildlife resources at all.
There's not a ton going on.
Well, and we've got talk hunting, but we do have Jessica coming in. Jessica Drake, this is her day from the sheriff's office. So we need to get to it. Talk to me about hunting season. We're full-blown rifle season and everything now, right?
It's muzzleloader right now.
Muzzleloader still.
Well, my rifle will open Saturday. This is coming Saturday.
Okay, my husband was like, "Oh, we're full on." I was like, "I really don't think so." And
the deer are full on. That's probably what he's talking about.
I know. Well, we've seen them.
There was one hit I noticed just right here outside your window.
It's been there for like 3 days. Oh. Yeah, it's about time for that thing to be. It was either vultures or the pickup crew to come and get it.
Yeah, that'll be T-Dot right there.
Yeah, but the day it happened, I kept thinking somebody had harvested because it was fresh, but nobody did. But it was so funny. My husband spoke to his brother up in Michigan, and he got something like a 12-point buck this weekend. And so it's like, it's really got my husband wanting to
go out there,
compete. Well, and, I don't know what the hunting rules are up in Michigan, but, and it was so funny. We were headed to go to the races Saturday. and there was just like a whole bevy of deer right there. And my grandson could have shot, right?
Yeah.
He could have shot it, and we didn't have a muzzle loader, or he could have gone and gotten his compound or his bow, whatever.
Yeah.
He's got like that one that you shoot like a gun. What's it called?
Crossbow.
Crossbow. He's got a crossbow that he could have gone out and fired. He don't know how to use it. He doesn't. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. He needs to practice. But he's determined he's going to harvest a deer this year. And so I've got 2 or 3 sons. They promised. Of course, they were all full of talk last year too, and they didn't do it. I don't know, but we'll see. When are you going to start? Have you started hunting yet?
If I could find the time.
I just did.
I've been one time just for a couple hours the other day. Just wanted to get out and go, and
Yeah.
I actually heard a shot that I thought was on my property, so I jumped out of the stand real quick and became game warden for a minute. Went and found them, saw who it was.
Yeah. Were they on your property or
No,
just nearby?
no, they weren't. They were on the line.
What are the rules about stuff like that? Because I've got some people. We've got neighbors, okay, that are hunters. You know, it makes me a little nervous if they shoot. Can they shoot toward my property or?
They can in Tennessee, yes. So
Okay, that makes me nervous.
some states have a law where it's actually trespassing if your bullet goes onto somebody else's property.
And I know they'll be safe and everything, but I'm outside a lot. And I want to make sure nobody shoots me. You know, I want to make sure I don't get caught up in some, I get nervous. I don't let
Right.
anybody hunt on my property because I just don't. I mean, if my family wants to, that's fine.
Yep.
But and if they shoot something and it comes over on me, that's fine. I don't care. I'm a really good neighbor, y'all. I really am. But I do get a little nervous during hunting season, just because I know people forget what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like there's, and number one, my dog looks like a deer. He has a vest. He does. We got him a vest to put on him, and we haven't really I've put it on him a few times, but we don't let him just run around either. My husband does when he's out, on the tractor, he'll let him run. And I'm like, you better put that vest on that dog or we were going to lose him. He looks like a deer. He really does, but hopefully they wouldn't,
Yeah, luckily,
I know my neighbors wouldn't. They're more careful than that, but
it happens,
anyway.
but luckily it doesn't happen very often around
Yeah.
here at all. So
Okay, well, good. But it was so funny. They've put a camera near down on their property somewhere. My husband walking over and looking at it. He was like, "Oh, it's a camera. Hi."
Yeah.
And waved at him. He's like, "Well, they got a good picture of me." But now he wants one. What the neighbors have, he wants. It's ridiculous. But so give me all the particulars on hunting season. Do you have harvest numbers yet? Do you have
I haven't looked, but I'll say they've got to be up. We've seen quite a few deer killed. Lots of big deer. Nothing outrageous, but some really good deer killed. Years ago, we dropped down from a 3-buck to a 2-buck limit, and I think that's got to be why we're seeing so many big deer. We only have one taxidermist here in the county, and went over to see him the other night, and he's shut down from taking deer in. He's had over 100 this year brought in already, and people that want their deer mounted. So he's not taking any more, and some big deer seen up there. The processors are having to shut down. Flowers in Davidson County shut down the other day until Sunday because they were full, which is unheard of. Not unheard of. They normally shut down every year once or twice, but just get so many deer you can't hold them all.
You can't do anything with it. Wow, I hadn't even thought about that. But there's a guy up in West Kentucky area where I'm from that's taxidermy. I need to get you his pictures. And my daddy took us over there years ago, and it was the wildest thing I've ever seen, the amount of stuff that he had.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he did. And I mean, he had everything you could imagine. It was like walking through a wildlife. It's like walking through the woods, man, and the jungles. Because he had some exotic game too. But it was a trip. I couldn't believe it. But it was fun. But so what? Okay, so we've got muzzleloader right now. Full on rifle starts on Saturday.
Saturday, and it'll run through January 4th, I think it is.
Okay.
4th or 5th, whatever that Sunday is.
Okay, so there'll be a lot of hunters out Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday, or just and this weekend. It's a huge hunting weekend.
I'm trying to get one of my boys that doesn't have kids yet to come out and because we're doing Thanksgiving a little different. We're doing it on Black Friday. We're doing it on that.
A lot of people are doing that. I heard.
Yeah. Well, because I'll be honest with you, you just don't want to put that pressure on your kids to be like, you've got to come see me Thanksgiving. It's like, take the pressure off and let's just have it another day. and just, kind of be casual. I don't know. That's what I've decided to do because I'm a boy mom, and I'm just like, I don't care about the day. Let's just get together. And so we're doing a family reunion type dinner on Friday, and I've got cousins and different ones coming, and so I'm going to try to get them to come out maybe Wednesday night and hunt on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
After we do some volunteer work, I want to do some stuff, but anyway, I just think that would be fun for them to get out and have a hunting day for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Put some deer meat on the table for Turkey Day. So we've got some of our Egyptian friends come into our Thanksgiving thing on Friday too. That's going to be interesting. So they're bringing Egyptian food. I don't know what that's going to be.
That's different. I've had it before. It's different.
Oh yeah,
It's good.
It's good, yeah. But I just wonder what they're going to come up with. But anyway, well, what else are we missing, brother? What else is going on?
Well, you mentioned something that's a good point to say because a lot of people, everybody thinks they have a lot of rights that they don't have. So everybody thinks that if you shoot a deer and it goes onto somebody's property, that they have the right to go get their deer, and they do not. You cannot go on anybody else's property. It's trespassing, regardless of what's on it. Your hunting dogs, your cats,
we have a
deer.
big issue with
It
that.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it's on somebody else's property, then you're trespassing when you go on there. So we always just tell people to call the landowner and ask them. Always ask for permission first. And if they say no, then it's no. A lot of times they can call us and we can try. I mean, we're not going to make them give it to you. We can't do it. We can try to talk and be the moderator, which essentially that's normally what we end up being, a moderator between the two, and try to make it work out. But
we've never had a problem with that. We had somebody call us one time, and honestly and truthfully, we're like, well, of course you can get your deer. We don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine. They were out there hunting. They're like, hey, the deer ran up into y'all's woods. And I'm like, well, sure, go get it. And I think we had some coon hunters do the same thing. They had treed one up in our place. Yeah. And I was like, it's like if you've
coon hunters are the worst.
Yeah, they really are. The worst about trespassing. If that's one thing. It's like, no, I don't want you chasing it. I mean, if once it gets on my property, you need to go find another one.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you up in. Because that's honestly when we've had the lights on the hill. That's we've called you because we've had somebody up on our hillside a lot of times and odd times of night with flashlights and stuff, and we feel like that's what it is. Yeah. We just want to make sure there was nothing nefarious growing over there in some little nooks and crannies, but we didn't find anything. Our wildlife resource officer checked it out. I want to say something too about we were so excited to see you take that field trip down there.
Oh yeah,
that was so cool for us because we want people to enjoy that property.
Those kids, that's a whole other topic about kids nowadays. But they, you could tell when I went to that was the environmental sciences class.
Yeah.
I went and spoke with them, and you can just tell that kids just aren't excited about that kind of stuff anymore. I don't know why, just they're not.
Yeah.
But and I could tell they weren't, and that's fine. But once we got out there to the creek and once we got the class portion over and just kind of turned them loose, they had so much fun. I mean, they were in Crocs and I told them to bring boots, and I know they don't have any.
Yeah.
Some of them did, some of them didn't. But I mean, they went haywire in that creek. They
so
came back
excited.
like, can we have a net? And they were finding crawdads and all kinds of stuff, and
I
just
love it.
having a blast. They didn't want to leave.
Oh, I love it. That just makes us so happy. I mean, just do it again. Anytime.
Yeah, and those kids, they've never done that before.
Yeah.
We take it for granted, but those kids have just never gone outside and just played in a creek.
We're working on getting the old dairy barn out there. If you know our property was an office building. It is a finished building.
Really?
I
didn't know
that was our office building for the roofing company for 20 years. And so we're redoing.
It was just a big barn.
No. The big red barn is just
Yeah,
a barn.
yeah.
Now, there's a
But
back,
the other
there's a
back there
shop,
in the
but
back,
The dairy barn had central heating and air at one
Really?
time. Oh, yeah. It was a finished room. It was a finished building. You could live in it. But the bathroom, we ripped it out and we're expanding it. And we're going to have it where there'll be a bathroom they can use.
Yeah.
As soon as I get it. But I don't know if it'll be by spring. I would love
Nobody asked, but I was like, well, if they got to go, I'm just going to point over there. Just
I'm
go over
hoping, I'm hoping that maybe by spring we'll have something in there where we'll have a bathroom and we're just going to leave it open.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of friends that come down there and go play in the creek and stuff. And I thought, man, that'd be really nice because
Instead of calling it your pool house, you call it your creek house.
There you go.
The creek
There you
house.
go. But I mean, the bathroom's already, it's already plumbed. So all we got to do is it was just kind of needed to be redone. So I've got it all pulled apart right now, but we've got a pretty extensive, redo on that bathroom because it was terrible. It was this tiny little, it was a roofer's bathroom.
Yeah.
It was not awesome. I was like, if we're going to open it up for
Just
people
need a place to use the bathroom.
That's what it was. And I said, if we're going to open this up for people to come into, we're going to have to make this better. And so my husband agreed. But I do photography out there, and we're going to have like place for people to change and do all that in there too. But I digress. I was excited to see the kids out there having fun.
Like
Bring
I said,
anytime.
Well, just whenever they ask, I'm all for it. I said I felt like a teacher. I've been, in Mark's class a lot, and then went and talked to Mary's class. That was that lady, and we went to college together. And then the other criminal justice teacher got me to come back and talk to her class. We did a day on boating under the influence. They've been talking about DUIs and stuff. So yeah. I was like, I'm tired of being a teacher. I'm done for now. Don't ask me again. No, I'm done for this week.
Well, talk to them about what you did with my husband's class and what is available for other schools. What you did. Just go ahead and talk about this. Since we've just, hunting season starts, full-on hunting season starts Saturday. That's pretty much it, what's going on in Wildlife Resources. But talk to them about what's available for kiddos if there's some other teachers out there that wanted to bring this in.
So his class, and it can be any class if you want to incorporate it, I guess. We could make it work. But, his class is the criminal justice class. Mm-hmm. And I just know from experience of talking to people that no matter if it's criminal justice or what, even in law school and nobody talks about wildlife resources. Nobody talks about TWRA. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows. I say nobody, but for the most part, people don't know who we are. Mm-hmm. These kids definitely didn't know who we were or what we did. So with his being the criminal justice class, I come in and I teach them about wildlife law enforcement and what we do at our work. But then I also incorporate the hunter education program, which is a program we teach. Done it for years. I took it in the high school when I was there. But like I've said before, it kind of weaned its way out and it never was part of the curriculum anymore. So we were able to get back in there and teach them that class. It's for anybody born after January 1st, 1969, is required to have it if they want to hunt. Mm-hmm. And these kids may never hunt ever. Right. And that's okay. I don't take it personal. You could tell by some of their faces they did not want to be in there and listening to what I say. This one girl was like, "This stuff is gross."
When they were talking about gutting a deer,
I was like,
kind of stuff, they were like, "Ew."
It's part of it, but a lot of that, a lot of the hunter safety class is about firearm safety. Mm-hmm. Now the majority of it is towards being safe with the firearm while you're in the field hunting, but we talk about firearms in the home and just how to be safe with them. And if you do pick up a firearm, whether you're in a home or outside or hunting, just how to handle it and what to do and stuff like that. So I try to keep it more about, for that kind of stuff, I try to keep it more about the firearm safety part of it and how to handle a firearm safely. But then we incorporate some of the hunting stuff in there too. So
very cool. And how can they get in touch with you if they want to learn more?
So they can just call me, find me on Facebook. I got a phone number they can call me at 615-522-8149. Again, 615-522-8149. That's my state cell phone. And then my email is super easy. It's just my name, Kaleb with a K, Kaleb.Stratton@tn.gov.
There you go. And if you have any questions about wildlife resources, this is, would I be remiss saying this is probably your favorite time of year because it's kind of lower key, not so much going on. It's not boating season.
Yeah. Well, you said that. I got scared last night. I got an email that said boat accident, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, luckily, it was in Franklin County, not here. But okay. I was like, golly. But,
get off the lake. Get off the river.
It's closed. Oh. It's closed.
The rivers and lakes are closed.
They're closed. They're not.
You still have fishermen out there that are going to fish. Because that's one thing that, we've been talking about when Jason was in here. I just really hadn't thought about how you can fish the creeks year-round.
Oh, yeah. Fishing's open. Yeah, year-round, 365, 24/7, 365. It's open to fishing. So
well, we're going to get my grandson out to fish because he loves to fish, and that's something he's just not available in the summer because he's playing sports. And so we're going to try to get him out to do some fishing this winter. And I would love to skip school with him and me and do the trout release. When are those coming up? Do you have some dates on those?
Yeah, actually, I put it on Smoky Barn.
What this is, the trout release is where they will take and they will bring trout in and release them, and you can fish them, and people will just stand around waiting for those things to hit the water.
They'll sit there all day. I'll tell them, hey, he won't be here till 2. And they're there at 7 a.m. It's like, that's all right.
But where do they put them in?
Just down here at the Greenway, at the fairgrounds.
Right there.
And we'll normally go upstream. If the water is up too much or if it's just really crappy weather, then we'll put some in at the pond too.
Okay. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So
at Travis Price.
Travis Price? Okay. But they'll swim upstream because I've had people,
they'll.
catch trout in Sulphur Fork, And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know where they came from.
But just real quick, the first one they'll be putting in will be 2 weeks from this Thursday, so December 5th.
Okay.
That'll be the first stocking, and then they'll do Wednesday, January 29th, and then Thursday, February 27th. So,
Okay. So
we do
put those
3
dates
of
on the
them,
calendar.
and you know they put a lot in. Like you said, if somehow they survive over the summer, you'll catch them this year from last year.
Yeah,
So,
that's pretty cool. And there's some cool spots they can find,
oh yeah,
in that water. So, well, that's really cool. Anything else we need to cover?
I don't think so. Just like you said, keep an eye out for deer. They're running everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many deer getting hit right now, and luckily we got the sheriff's office here that's awesome about helping us by putting them down because there's no way. Well, that's all we would do full time in the state is just go and put deer down, and that's not our main job, and it's not theirs either.
Right, but
you know,
if they're around, they'll take care of it.
It's just Jason and I in the whole county, and we have different schedules, and when we work, and the sheriff's office has 5 or 6 deputies plus all their admin that are out working. So, there's 6 or 7 of them working actively out on the roads driving. So
if they see one that needs to be put down,
they'll do it. Yeah, they'll get the call. If they don't have anybody, they'll call us, and that's fine. We got the same, and it's not just the sheriff's office. THP helps us out a lot.
So, do any of y'all ever harvest them when you get to put them down?
It just depends. Because
honestly, if they're still alive, you can definitely harvest that deer.
Oh yeah, but you run into on the outside it looks fine, but once you skin it, and it's just the meat's just ruined from where that car hits it. Yeah, and it's just all bruised, and you don't want to eat that at all. It's just all bloody and bruised.
Oh, I got you. I hadn't even thought
nasty.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just.
That's why most people will just take it and cut the back strap out. People think that's a waste, and I'm like, no, it's really not. If it's got hit by a car, the back strap's normally fine. Cut it out and throw the deer away. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, one more. That's one more thing. I was talking to somebody just the other day. There's a big story going on in Westmoreland right now about deer dumping, and if it's on your property, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You can throw your deer out there or whatever, but please dispose of them the right way. You can take them to the landfill. The landfill will take them. What we don't want to see is just you pulling over on the side of the road, dumping them on the side of the road, dumping them in other people's property. We see deer all the time that just have the heads cut off and they throw it in somebody's front yard just to get rid of it. And
that's awful.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's considered littering in Tennessee. So if you are caught doing that, it is littering. And Judge Joel Perry does not like people who litter. So you'll be out there in a little orange vest picking up trash on the side of the road.
There you go.
But
how about that? I think that's great. Not only will you get a fine, you'll get to get out there and pick up your mess.
Yep, for a few days, few weekends.
I love it. Good job,
anyway,
Judge Perry.
Right. Yeah.
I got to get him in here and visit with him. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. Jessica's getting ready to come on in here, and while she's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. If you need some help in real estate, you will find none any better. They are awesome folks. Love them a lot. They are so helpful to the community in so many ways. Ask Shawn Elmore about all that they've done for Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center with all the publicity videos and things that they take care of for them. Just awesome folks. They're so involved in the community. They're one of us. They're Cross Plainians. They've been there for nearly 30 years up in Cross Plains, but they've also they've just worked all over. She was a radiologist before she went into real estate. Barry was vice president of a media marketing company for nearly 17 years up in Nashville. So they know the surrounding areas, and they're like me. They're from Kentucky, so they also know Kentucky as well. So while they specialize in Robertson County properties, they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Barry is the broker here in Springfield. It has a brokerage office. Rebecca has her office up in White House. She is an agent. And they combine those two to bring you a new branch in the Exit Tree, Exit Prime Realty. They were with the Garden Gate team for many, many years. And they still just work together so well. And they're awesome about mentoring you if you want to become a realtor yourself. And if you're just got questions, you're like, I'm thinking I might want to sell this piece of my property. Maybe you're older and you think, I've got this much land, I don't need it, my kids aren't moving back, can I sell this, what's the value? All of those things, they specialize in that, and you can talk to them about it by just reaching out. You can find them at sellwithbecky.com or robertscounty.com. Just Google them. Barry Richards, Exit Prime Realty, Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. You'll find unique Facebook pages, web pages for each one of them, because while they work together, they're also separate entities in Exit Prime Realty, and they'd love to talk to you no matter what your questions are. Buying, selling, want to be a realtor, they are the ones to reach out to. Again, sellwithbecky.com or buy, robertsoncounty.com. Reach out to them today and always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Jessica is in the house. Jessica Drake. So everybody loves y'all and appreciate y'all. And I mean, I never. That's wonderful about our area. I never get anybody when Jessica gets in there. You better tell her. Never do I hear that. And people know I have y'all in because you've got so much support in the community for law enforcement here, and I love that. So when we didn't talk, all of a sudden I was like, "Hey, Jessica's coming in today, so thank you, thank you for your diligence and your dedication to always coming in when it's your turn." And it's a time of year too. It was so funny when I was thinking this morning. I thought, today's Jessica's day? Well, you sure need to talk about making sure that as you're shopping for Christmas, doing the safety things, and all those kinds of things, because. If I thought if this is not her month, by next month it'll be people will be almost done shopping, because I mean people are it's
they've already started. We've started putting some out on some just tips here and there out on Facebook, starting to get that circulated as far as holiday shopping. Because Black Friday's coming up, everyone wants to get all the good deals. The biggest thing right now is probably the porch pirates. So you got a lot of Amazon deliveries, all sorts of deliveries that you're going to be getting to your door. So
what is your best defense against your porch pirates doing that?
I mean, there's several different things. Obviously, it's great to have a camera, because that way if someone does steal your package, you can give that video footage over to law enforcement to help them to try to identify the person and get that circulated out. You can have special delivery instructions if you have the ability to have them be able to put it on your back porch instead of the front porch. People who live in apartments and things like that, where it's, more freely accessible and seen. You can maybe use those drop boxes that Amazon has, where you can have them delivered to a box somewhere, have your own PO box, deliver to a friend's house, deliver it to work if that's approved by your work, things like that. Just making it the convenience of having it to your front door obviously is great, but you do have that risk of somebody taking it. So just taking precautions like that.
My son, this is the one that's down in Huntsville, he's bought a house now, but he had an apartment that was kind of like a townhouse, really nice neighborhood too. And he moved out of kind of some cruddy apartments into this one. And we thought, oh, great, neighborhood and all this. And I mean, as soon as he moved there, because he was always getting parts and stuff, he's, electrical engineer, so he'd have parts delivered all the time. And he would just constantly, somebody was stealing his stuff, and he put up a camera, stopped it in its tracks, because he saw his neighbor. He saw the dude come over and get it, and then he looked up and went, oh, and put it back.
Yeah.
Caught him red-handed, and he never confronted him on it, because honestly, the stuff he was getting was just, he wouldn't know what to do with it. It was, drone parts or something.
But they're not going to bring it back once they open it and find out they don't want it.
It's like there are people that have chronic problems with theft. Because to me, that dude, after he got 2 or 3 packages that were, some kind of electronic, parts that he didn't know what, you'd think he'd be like, okay, he's not worth taking his stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do with this stuff. But he kept taking it until he put the camera in and caught him red-handed. And he waved at him, I was like, gotcha, but it blows my mind. And I'm thankful we don't have an issue, because we have very large dogs, and we live out in the, out in the middle of nowhere, really, comparison. And people just don't, when we had a roofing company, theft was a problem.
Yeah.
Because, and honestly and truthfully, a lot of the times it was the people that were working for us. They were like, oh, they've got the, and they knew we weren't going to be there, because they kind of knew what we were doing. And so that's when we had theft issues. But dogs are a wonderful deterrent. I'll just say, as long as you've got them where they can't hurt somebody, people will stay away from your property if you've got a dog nearby. And, they just do.
Yeah. And another thing is after the holidays, I think a lot of people forget about after the holidays, when you've opened up all your gifts and you go and you decide to go put your trash onto the road, and you've got the box for the new TV that you got, the new PlayStation or Xbox or whatever those things are. You got that sitting out. you're basically advertising what you got for Christmas and what's inside your home. So the best thing to do is break down those boxes, take them to the dump yourself. Don't just sit them out on the side on the road in the front of your house, just letting everybody know what you got.
Yeah, and just simple things like that you just forget about. I know the porch part stuff is just an issue, though. I mean, that just blows my mind that people would be that deceitful. And I love it when people pull tricks on them and they set things out that, when they open them, they, innocently kind of.
Like the little glitter bomb things.
Yeah, glitter bombs. I didn't want to say explode, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like that kind of stuff that gets them good. I think that's hysterical. But it is a big issue. But now also, too, it's still an issue is when you leave your stuff in the car.
It is. That's the other thing is, when you're out and about shopping and you're going from store to store, if you have a trunk, put it in the trunk. If you, have an SUV that you can see into the back or anything like that, or if you're putting it in the back of your car, make sure to put a blanket in your car. So that way when you're going in between the stores, you can put your bags under the blanket. To where it's, less likely to be seen, and make sure you're locking your vehicles. The majority of the time when we get reports of people saying that their cars were broken into is because their vehicles were unlocked.
That blows my mind. I lock my vehicle almost in even in your driveway.
Because most of the time they're just going and checking doors, and they're most of the time they're not breaking the windows or anything like that. Right. They're just pulling on the doors, and if the door opens, they're going to go in, grab what they can that's in sight with the first few seconds, and then leave. Yeah. The best thing you can do, just lock your doors. That will highly decrease it possibly happening to you.
Well, and I almost became, because I worked up at the church for about 7 years, and we worked with the homeless community who got some, you got some wonderful people out there, honestly, but then you got some little knuckleheads that they're just trying to steal anything they can, and it's a chronic issue. And so that taught me, being around that community, lock it. My husband's like, I'm going to lock it. I'm just like almost constantly lock the door. And it's like, why would you lock the door out here? And I'm like, that's my habit. And it's a good habit to be in. And also too, if you have a weapon that you keep in your vehicle, oh my goodness, lock it up. There are special things you can get, aren't there? Like car safes and things you can put not only lock it in that, but lock the door, of course. But that's a huge issue, people taking weapons out of cars, isn't it?
Yeah, so you definitely don't want to leave a weapon in a car without you in there. So obviously, when you go home, take it in, lock it up.
Yeah. I thought there were some safe things.
They do have safes and things that you can have for the
installed. Yes, if you do, desire to leave it in there.
They do have safes that you can do that like attach to like the frame, like of a seat or something like that. Right. But the best thing you can do is when you get home, put it up.
Yeah, and just do the smart things, guys. Lock your door. Don't be obvious about stuff. Cover things up. I'm one of these that I'm notorious for just grabbing my wallet and going in, but then my purse is sitting in the seat, and somebody could just grab that. Was nothing in it because I got my wallet, but I still cover it up because I don't want to break my windows out to just get at it. Yeah, and so I'm real big about keeping things covered up because it's
just free advertisement when you don't.
So for sure, we're talking with Jessica Drake. She is the Public Information Officer at the Sheriff's Office and visits with us every other month, just about the things going on in law enforcement around town. What else have you got for us today?
Probably in addition to just the shopping tips is holiday scams. Okay. So, of course, we have scams that happen all year round. I mean, it seems about every other month there's a new scam going on. We will post it on Facebook, letting everyone know of the newest one. But just be aware of the holiday scams coming out, whether they're asking for donations to something. They're saying that you've failed to appears, didn't show up to court, you have an arrest warrant, they're saying they work for the sheriff's office, things like that. The sheriff's office is not going to call you and tell you that you have a warrant and you need to pay us money over the phone. That's not how that works.
Not going to happen.
And in regards to like anyone soliciting donations and calls and all that, you can hang up and call that actual place
Mm-hmm.
back. So, Google the number, call them directly yourself to verify that that is a correct, that was a correct call. Because there are spoofing apps out there to where they can spoof. It looks like when they call you, it looks like it's coming from the number, like the sheriff's office or from wherever that's asking for a donation. So always know that you can hang up and call that place directly back.
Right. Yeah, and that's
To
the thing I think
verify.
people forget.
Mhm.
I get so many spam calls because I keep my phone off. I mean, I do. I just have it in do not disturb all the time because of teaching and radio and all that. But by the end of the day, I go and look, and I mean spam. It's just, and I will hit some of them and call them
Yeah.
back. And it's just always that number's not
Yeah.
available or something. to
And
that degree.
it'll say it's unavailable, or they'll give you a number and you'll call it back, and they have actually like spoofed our call
Yeah.
thing. Like when you call and it gives all the information, they'll have actually copied that,
Yeah.
and where you have to do an extension. Don't use the number that they give you in the voicemail.
Yeah. Don't.
If you think it's a scam where they're saying you need to call us back, this is Lieutenant so and so from the sheriff's office. We need to process this warrant, or you missed jury duty or something like that. Get on our website and get our number and call that specific number back. You don't have to use the number that they give you, because they're giving you a number that links to.
Something that's going to
There.
get you more spam.
Yes. Yeah.
Get you more bag of phone
Mhm.
calls. You mentioned something. This is just kind of random. Jury
Mhm.
duty. What is the situation? Are y'all the ones that facilitate jury duty then?
We are the ones that mail out the jury duty, so it comes out. It comes where the mail says the sheriff's office, but it's actually through the court clerk's office. So if you're calling because you need to notify us that that you can't attend jury duty, you need to contact the court clerk. If you call the sheriff's office, we're just going to call you back and give you the court clerk's number. But the jury duty is mailed from the sheriff's office.
What happens if you get a jury notice and you fail to appear? What happens?
That is through the county clerk's office.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is contact them as soon as possible, and they will let you know your options.
Okay. I'm just curious. I've been called for jury duty a couple of times. They usually let me go. I don't know why, but because of broadcasting and previous political situation, those kinds of things. They tend to not want people like me. I don't know why, because I'm a little too vocal about my opinions, and so they tend to want people that are more neutral.
And it's the court clerk, because we
Okay.
have the court clerk's office is who you need to call.
Okay, I don't know why. Well, one of my kids got called for jury duty.
Yeah.
I think that's why when you said that, I thought I just wonder what is this issues with that, because I haven't had any experience with it in a while. But that's very interesting. Talking with Jessica Drake, our public information officer with the sheriff's office, about all the things going on in her world. We've already gotten our sponsors in. We're short sponsors right now. We're gonna be calling y'all. Need some sponsors. Does the sheriff's office ever do any sponsorships? I'm just telling you, public office. But what else we got going on that you want to talk about?
Let's see, a few things that we have done. We donated. So United Way did their, or I think is currently still doing their Give Thanks Holiday Meals for Families program. We participated. Our goal was to donate 11 boxes, and we actually our corrections staff was able to donate 30.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so they far exceeded the 11 box goal, which was absolutely amazing. So the correction staff, they got together, they got all the boxes. 30 boxes when only expecting to do 11 was fantastic.
That is very cool. That is very
Yep.
cool. I've got two I've got to do still, and you can still do them because I've been wanting to do them with my grandkids, and we just keep running out of time. But did you do one with Tommy?
Huh?
You and Tommy? Tommy's your son, right?
Yes.
Yes. I was going to say that it's fun to go and put it together. He's still a little bit young, don't you?
Yeah, he doesn't even
He's
he
like
doesn't
2,
pay attention
right?
to nothing. Yeah.
He's just 2. He's the same age as my youngest one.
He cares about his puzzles and his dinosaurs.
There you go.
And his little Lightning McQueen cars.
There you go. Exactly. But I had my grandson this weekend, and we were going to try to do that, and then he got a bug, and so we didn't get to do it. So you can still do it. Is my point. I'm still trying to figure out how I can involve them. I might go get the stuff and then let them help me pack the boxes, and that way we can get it in, because you can take them to United Way, and it's United Food Ministries is who will take them and distribute them at this point. They had the big drop off where they were going to take them, and they get them all in the Nashville area, and then they are distributed back out. But the ones that you do locally stay local. But it's all, they had that day of action, which was a week ago, really, from United Way. But the point is, you can still do this. If you go to the United Way's Facebook page or their website, they'll have the list of give thanks items. And it's a lot of fun. It's something you can do with your kiddos if you want to do something special. I think that's wonderful that y'all did that. That's great as a department, and y'all put those together. But it's just a wonderful way just to, let your kids know how thankful that they should be for what they have, because there's a lot of families that don't have it. And so very cool. So what else have you got for us? Because
I was trying to think. We had, so it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month last month. Right. So we did our annual Pink Badge Challenge, and basically our officers, they donate money to wear the pink badge on their uniform, and they pay per day, or they could pay for the week, and they can either pay to wear it themselves, or they can pay to challenge another employee, officer to go ahead and wear it. Okay, cool. So we raised money for that, and we donated it to the ABC program at the Roberts County YMCA. So we do that every year. So that's always fun. We had a Red Ribbon Week. Yes. I can never say it. I always have to slow down. We had that, and where the SROs go into the classes and they teach about saying no to drugs and alcohol. Yeah. They have every day is a different day to make it fun. You got to dress up. Then you got the door decorations contest. Then you got the pumpkin judging contests. They do all sorts of different things each day. I think they have like a superhero day, all sorts of.
A Minion Day for us. And we had Mr. Staggs that dressed up as Gru, and it's a lot of fun. The kids enjoy it, and we love our SROs. We have Sergeant Rippy. And I can't remember the other guy's name. We got a new one. Do you know who I'm talking about? A young guy. I'm just going blank.
We have so many.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just completely blank on his name right now, because
if you described him, I'd probably know.
Yeah, well, I've got him in the news. We had them come in. It was so cute, because I had Sergeant Rippy came in at first and did the kind of preliminary up to it, and then he started about the same time, right in the middle of, or we were getting ready for it. So he came in and started talking about it. So we would cut to them in the news, and they were telling all the stuff. So we get our SROs involved. Sergeant Rippy, he was awesome. He actually helped produce one of the little short videos with my kiddos last year. And he's just a blast. He's a great guy. He's such a great guy. But our SROs, they're so involved in the schools. And they are sheriff office employees, guys.
They are.
They are not employed by the school system. They are actual sheriff deputies, and I love that.
Yes, I think a lot of people are confused when they think school resource officers. They are deputies of the sheriff's office. They are post-certified. They are law enforcement officers that work in the schools, but they work for the sheriff's office. Yes.
And that's something I did not realize until really a year or so ago, because I just assumed they were part of the school system, and they had just been, at some point law enforcement officers. But I'm like, no, they're still.
No, they're deputies. Amazing. They can leave the school and they can do a traffic stop if they need to. If they see, someone doing a DUI or breaking the law, they're a deputy just like all the other ones.
So watch out, kiddos. Those are deputies, and. I had some theft in my classroom, and, Sergeant Rippy just took wonderful care of it, and it's one of those things that, it just makes us feel so safe here in this county to have that kind of protection in our schools.
We're very fortunate. Yes, we have an SRO in every school, and we have 2 SROs in every high school now, which is amazing.
Yeah, we have 2 now, and I'm so sorry I can't remember. His name is a little unusual, and that's why I can't remember how to say it. But I'll find it, and we'll figure it out. But great things, and I'll tell you one of we before we wrap up, I think something we haven't talked about in a while, and I think it's just a wonderful program, is the seniors program. And talk to them about
the SOS program.
The SOS program, and how to access that via the app, because this is the time of year that you're going to be seeing people that are in need, because a lot of people will do volunteers where they'll drop meals off for Thanksgiving, and you're going to come in contact with people that you might be, I wonder if anybody's checking on them.
Yep.
Well, there's a way that you can follow up with that. So if you're out there delivering a Thanksgiving meal to somebody and you're concerned about them, what would you recommend they do?
So if you're concerned about them, you can either get on the sheriff's office app, or even through our website, and you can get to the SOS program, Senior Outreach Service Program, or you can contact Central Dispatch. You can contact the sheriff's office directly. Lieutenant Nick Roberts, he is over the program, and you can provide us the information, and we'll get in touch with that person and add them to the list. And basically, what it is it's a program for seniors or disabled individuals who may not have family around. They don't have anyone checking on them, and especially during the holiday times. We contact them once a week, see how they're doing. We'll go and visit them. We'll make sure all their needs are being met. And if they need help with food or medications or something like that, we have working relationships with programs around the county that we can get them in touch with, and so they can get those specific services that they need help with. Our deputies love it. It's something, that they enjoy. They create relationships with them. And it definitely is something that I think both sides enjoy.
And what are the stipulations to get somebody involved?
But it's just senior, 65 and older, or disabled.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you've got somebody that, there's a lot of, I've had the experience of working with adults, maybe with autism, that are, they've got, the mental disability, but they're still very functional. They drive and things like that. But when they're people who take care of them pass away, they're alone a lot of times, especially if they don't have siblings. And that's a heartbreak thing. I mean,
a lot of times, the program is basically through word of mouth. It's trying to get it spread, because the ones who need to be on the program probably don't know how to use the internet.
Exactly.
It's not on the news or anything like that. They're not on apps. They're not they don't go out to hear about it, where we put our pamphlets out to the areas. It's usually because they're more isolated. So it's the community that we need help with, as far as letting us know that they may have a family member that should be on the program, because they don't live, that close to them, or because of their work schedules, they can't get out there as much as they want to. It could just a neighbor, something like that. So it's really the community that we're reaching out to for it, to give us the information to help us locate those individuals that would benefit from this program.
But that just happened to hit me, because we would come up with when I was working at the church, we have a wonderful Meals on Wheels program that's been around for 50 years. And we, or a lot of the situations that we're in, it's just people, they don't necessarily need a meal. They just need somebody checking on them. And so that's what happens a lot of the times with our Meals on Wheels program. They just need somebody to check on them. We had a young man, a man who was maybe even my age, that was autistic, and that I remember seeing, and it was really as much that as anything. They just needed somebody just to check on them. And
our deputies, they'll call, and because a lot of them will have preferences of this is the times you can call me, because I'm doing this or doing that. And our deputies will call, and if they don't get their answer, they're going to come and check on you in person to see how you're doing. And I know we had one deputy that was calling their person, and they weren't answering, so they went to the house, and they couldn't find them, so they ended up contacting, I think it was like the emergency contact or something, and then their senior citizen ended up calling the deputy back and was like, "Yeah, sorry, I was at my Roomba class or something."
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we had a gentleman.
But that shows, our deputies dedicated to, I mean, if they can't reach them, they're going to find them and see if they're okay, because that's the whole purpose of the program.
Well, we've had several times with Meals on Wheels where we couldn't raise somebody at the door, and they have fallen or had an episode, some kind of a health episode.
And you never know.
You better believe
most of the times it's something like that, where they was just busy and was
place. They had an appointment there.
But we don't know that, and so our deputies are going to do their due diligence to find, because that's the whole point of the program.
And this is, again, a good time to check out the SOS program, because you're going to come in contact, if you're out there delivering some Thanksgiving dinners and things like that, and you're concerned, See if they're involved with the SOS program. You can call. You don't have to have any connection to the family. Just say, hey, I met this person. I'm a little concerned for them and delivered a Thanksgiving meal, and I just want to make sure that they've got somebody checking on them. So that would be a good thing. Anything else? We're out of time.
I think that's it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful Thanksgiving and Christmas. And
You too.
because I will. This is November. I'll see you in January. If you have anything you need, though, from the sheriff's office, y'all always, doors always open. Reach out and let us know.
Yes, ma'am.
Enjoy your time with your sweet little boy.
You too.
All right. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow is Mayor Billy Vogel's day. He will be coming on in here. Always love talking to the mayor. So get ready for that.